Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I appreciate you checking it out and clicking the link to learn more about how I transformed the carpet in my bass boat over to EVA foam. So are you tired of wet, soggy, crusty, dry rot carpet that smells like a wet dog in your boat? Or how about just the general upkeep and maintenance of having to vacuum and scrub out stains? Well, probably my least favorite is feeling like somebody sandpapered my knees at the end of the day from kneeling down on the deck to access my compartments. Well, guess what? You're not alone. And these are just a couple of the reasons why I finally decided to make the switch. So stay tuned as we go through. I'm going to share my experience, some tips, and also some obstacles and challenges along the way. I'm always open to suggestions. So if you see something in the video that you don't like or you think I can improve upon, please post in the comments, let me know so I can help improve the channel by making these improvements over time with other videos. So in this channel, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to focus on three primary areas. Number one, educational videos, how-to videos. Two, tackle storage, tackle organization, and more importantly, how to be most efficient on and as well off the water. And three, the one I'm most excited about, is I'm going to do some fish catches, but I'm going to try to incorporate a couple things that I have not seen on YouTube yet up to this point that I'm pretty excited about. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. So I think it's important to first talk about EVA foam and what is it, and why would somebody want to make the transition? Well, simply, EVA foam is a non-porous, closed-cell product that does not absorb water, and it dries very quickly, has great traction, very easy to clean, and does not absorb smells. Now, to be fair, there are a couple drawbacks when it comes to EVA foam. The two biggest, in my opinion, are one, the cost. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than just redoing carpet. On average, a total installation, including the product and having a professional installer, you're looking on average around $5,000 for the entire boat. That's going to include taking and removing the carpet as well as the install. The second drawback, and this is most important if you live in the northern part of the country, when the weathers are cold and there's water on the deck, the sun's not out to help it evaporate, it can get a little slippery and icy at times. So when it came to installing EVA foam in my boat, I did a lot of research and found out that there are different installation methods when it comes to the foam. Now, depending on the boat you have, you may be just limited to the cockpit area. However, deciding which route you go for the installation is really going to come down to what I found to be one key important factor, and that is when you take the carpet off, are you going to have gaps on your deck or the bow of the boat? And if so, how are you going to handle that? Are you going to be okay with large gaps, or are you going to go and do what I did and find a company that can help close that gap so that things look a lot tighter and a lot cleaner? Now, one other option that is out there is you can have somebody fabricate new lids for your boat. That obviously is going to be much more expensive and something that I was not interested in looking into when I started to inquire about the costs. But you're going to find that the company that I chose, Dura-Deck, I can't say enough great things about them, was able to do everything I needed, and they were an absolute pleasure to work with. Let me talk a little bit about Dura-Deck and why I'm a huge fan. So Dura-Deck, they've been around for about 5 years now. They started in 2020. Their focus now is primarily on bass boats. The owner, who I've dealt with through this entire process, is an awesome guy. Very personable. From the beginning, he's taken control of my entire process and made me feel extremely confident in what they had to offer. His name is Russ Brenner. He started this company, and they are currently located in Wilmington, North Carolina, just outside of Myrtle Beach. Now, let's go back 2 months. I originally had reached out to Russ at Dura-Deck and was inquiring about their process. At the time, I decided that where I live, which is in Western Pennsylvania, and where they're located, it was going to be difficult for me to get my boat down there for the installation. So a couple months ago, my wife and I, we decided we were going to start taking the carpet off the boat. And after all the carpet was off, I started to realize quickly that I've got a problem. And the biggest problem was that for my Phoenix, the gaps that were between the lids were so large that if I just ran foam to the edge, these gaps were still going to be probably about 1 inch to 1.25 inches wide, and it just wasn't going to look right. So I had to make the tough decision of going with a different company, and I contacted Russ at Dura-Deck, and he had showed me some pictures of previous jobs where he had the same issue, and I was very pleased with the work. I had a tremendous amount of confidence that they were definitely the company that I was going to have do this work. The color and pattern options they have, there are tons and tons of options to choose from. Still the biggest challenge I had was I had to get my boat from Western Pennsylvania down to North Carolina. So I did a little bit of research, and I actually found a boat transport guy. He owns a company. He's out of Alabama. I'm going to share his information here as well in the event anybody watching this would like to also have their boat transported down to Dura-Deck from where they live. And this guy travels all over the country. Once he was done taking my boat and bringing it back to me, he was on his way to California to bring a boat all the way back to Alabama. So there's no distance that's too far for him. So the other issue that I had was with my Phoenix. When I got it, I have padding up on the front of the bow, and you know, when you're on the water all day, it can be tough on the knees. Russ was able to incorporate some extra padding up front, and I can tell you that it's extremely soft. It feels, in my opinion, it might actually be better than having the padding under the carpet. So that was my second most important issue that I wanted to make sure could be addressed. I'm going to show a couple pictures here that shows you the process of removing the carpet from the boat, and I will tell you it's a tough job. So if you don't have the time or the patience, I would highly recommend you have the installers do it. However, we just happened to clean it up because that was part of the agreement with the original company I was going to go with. So it was already cleaned up. So the process we used, and you know, we kind of discovered this about 90% of the way in. It would have been nice if we had figured it out in the beginning. But when we removed the carpet, and as you can see in the pictures, we let it soak the adhesive with Goo Gone for at least an hour. And we just scraped it right off. It was very easy. Like I mentioned, about 90% of the way done, we realized we probably would have been better off power washing this off. That's how easy, and that's what we did. So we power washed the last couple lids that we had, and it was great. And then at the very end, we went in with acetone and made sure that we cleaned up all the oils and the surface. I took all the latches off, all the hinges, and for each particular compartment, I put them in a Ziploc baggie so they were together, and stored them inside the compartment. And that made things a little bit easier to keep organized as well. So something else you would want to consider is the hinges that are connecting the lids on the boat. So all of mine were aluminum, unpainted, and it wouldn't have looked right with the design that I picked. So Russ actually took it upon himself, which I'm really glad that he did. He had suggested that I had them all powder coated. So he had a contact, had them powder coated locally, and when he installed them, they were all now black, which blended in really well with the gaps on the boat. Now, once I got the boat down to North Carolina, it took a few days for them to prep it up, and I gave him a very rough design of what I was looking for and gave him some ideas. I fully expected to go back and forth a couple times with some proofs or renderings, but Russ sent me the first one and immediately I was like, that's it, let's go with it, I like it. And it was a very painless process actually, and probably saved us a day or two in regards to the install. Well, that's it guys. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully you made it all the way to the end. I'm now going to share some videos and pictures of the outcome and the final result. But before I go, just a reminder, please subscribe to the channel. I look forward to making some videos for you guys in the future.